Yes, cinemas are finally reopening today after the circuit breaker measures in Singapore. Are you excited? How many of you can't wait to catch a movie again?
This is Level Up Content Play with relook.
Okay, before we go further, remember to subscribe and turn on the notifications for my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram so that you will know when new content will come out. With that out of the way, let's take a look at what our local cinemas have done in order to attract viewers back to the halls. Let's take a look at what Golden Village has done on their website. When you come to the Golden Village website, you can see that there is a banner that greets you to tell us that they are finally reopening on the 13th of July. And once you close that banner, it is pretty much the usual website that they have, telling us what are the upcoming movies with reviews and so on, asking you to buy tickets. This is their regular website. There isn't much that is special with regards to the preparation for the reopening, except that they say that they are looking forward to welcoming us back on the 13th of July. And that's about it on their website, really. But let's take a look at social media, shall we? And this is Instagram. And of course, as I mentioned, remember to follow me on Instagram, where I have been sharing a lot of different content as well for you to look at. All right. But on Instagram, and this is Golden Village Movie Club, their official Instagram account. And we can see that earlier on, before the announcements, they have been posting a lot about the different movies that will be upcoming, as well as asking people to look forward to the movies, as well as buying the delivery of popcorn and so on during the circuit breakers period where they are not allowed to operate their cinemas. But as the date was announced, they finally did a post to tell people that they are reopening on the 13th of July, and that is how they start to announce to everyone. And at the same time, they also announced that they have gotten their cinemas certified, SG Clean certified, which is what the government has done in order to ensure that all these operators are adhering to all the guidelines and that the cleaning measures are up to a certain standard. So let's take a look at the piece of content over here. Right, it's just showing that they have been doing the cleaning, that they have been doing the disinfecting and taking off temperatures, and that's about it, right? So this is just to tell us that they can't wait to serve us and they are ready to serve us. And also, of course, there are posts that feature what they have been doing, cleaning the seats, vacuuming the floors, ensuring that everything is clean so that they are ready to welcome the patrons, right? And as the day comes nearer, they have trailers telling us what are the shows that are going to come up soon, right? And also the fact that the vouchers have been extended. Yes, and also the posts that tell us about how they prioritize our well-being. All right, let's take a look at this one. And yes, it is just the reiterating of the fact that they have regular cleaning and disinfecting, that they have been certified SG Clean, and that there are hand sanitizers available, encouraging patrons to check in with the Safe Entry app, and also to practice safe distancing, and that the seats arrangements have been blocked to ensure safe distancing. And of course, encouraging people to book online or to use the automated ticketing systems to reduce the amount of contact when it comes to ticket purchase. Okay, so that is what they have done on this post. And that is about it from Golden Village, the biggest movie chain in Singapore. Let's take a look at Shaw, which is the other major movie or cinema chain in Singapore. At Shaw, this is their website. and it is essentially the same existing website where they feature all their promotions and coming up movies and so on. So the only thing that talks about the reopening or the measures that have been taken is the banner on top to say that they are dedicated to the safety and well-being of both the patrons and the staff, right? And they do have a button here, be safe, and let's take a look at what it brings up. Okay, it opens up a separate web page where they detail all the things that they are doing or they have done. All right, and it is none other than reduced auditorium capacities, enhanced cleaning procedures, safe distancing standards, temperature screenings, contactless payment, asking people to keep their masks on, and so on. So pretty much the same as what Golden Village has done, except that this is all arranged on one singular page for people to preview and to see. There's also the part where they specify that their staff and vendors are also having daily health screenings, as well as a frequent hand washing and sanitizing process in place. All right, and that finally to ask all of the patrons to use the safe entry as well as the contact tracing app once again. So not much of a difference between Golden Village and Shaw. Let's take a look at Shaw's Instagram account. And over here we have Shaw's Instagram account, and we can see that it's pretty much the same. They do have a lot of content that is selling the different content that they will be bringing, the movies that they will be bringing when the cinemas reopen. All right, and the only one that is talking about this staying safe is this piece of content that they have created, and let's take a look at what's here.
Stay safe with us by following these safety measures
Okay.
during your visit to our cinema.
And the measures are
All staff are to monitor their own health, wear masks, and wash their hands frequently. All patrons are to go through mandatory temperature checks before entry.
okay.
Any patrons with temperatures of 37.5 degrees Celsius or higher will be denied entry.
Okay, what we see here are animated posts that is reiterating what is stated in that web page that they have created, and this is being propagated onto the Instagram page so that they can reach their followers on Instagram. All right, so that is essentially the piece of content over here, and of course they started doing countdown content. All right, essentially counting down to the number of days, and also some content over here that depicts what their staff have been doing in order to disinfect the entire cinema and so on. Right, so essentially there is not much of a difference between Shaw and Golden Village. Cinema operators obviously has been very badly affected by the COVID situation. They were forced to close and not allowed to do business at all. And when they are allowed to reopen currently, I don't think many people will be swamping the cinemas anytime soon, because there is still a fair bit of concern over being in a confined place with people when the COVID situation hasn't exactly blown over yet. So everybody is talking about the new normal, and that we can't really get back to the good old days and do things exactly the same way anymore, right? Everybody is talking about doing things differently for the new normal. But what exactly is this new normal? As we can see from the websites and the social media pages of both Golden Village and Shaw, they have essentially done things that are simply in accordance to what the Ministry of Health has advised them to do, or even require them to do. Is there anything extra? I don't really think so. So you can see that both cinema chains have been doing things that are pretty much the same, because those are the things that are expected. Is that enough for the new normal? Obviously, if you say that, hey, all this disinfecting and all this extra temperature taking steps and so on and so forth is definitely not the previous normal. And these are extra work, and this is therefore the new process and the new normal that they are in right now. But for the patrons, for the customers, is that sufficient to attract us back into the cinemas? What is therefore really lacking is that wow factor. Are they doing it because they need to do it, because it is required by the law to do all these measures, or are they projecting an image to the customers that they are doing all sorts of things because they care for the customers, and how they can try to ensure that the experience of watching a movie will now be as safe as possible? Obviously, no one can guarantee that you will never get COVID-19 virus within the cinemas, but at least what they can do is to alleviate the fears. So have they done enough? All those things are simply what the ministry requires. Doesn't stand out from the rest of the cinema chains and cinema operators. What can we do that will wow the customers? The first thing that they should be doing is to direct their communications at the customers from the perspective of trying to protect the customer. They shouldn't be asking customers to please wear a mask, please take your temperature, or please use the safe entry and the trace together apps. All these are instructions to the customers. It is cold. It doesn't convey any emotions. What they should be saying is that they have done all these things for the comfort and safety of the customers, and also have these steps in place for the customers to enjoy the movie in a safe environment. So they should convey their communications from the position of caring for the customers and the patrons. That will make it a lot more emotionally appealing. But what else can be done? For example, what I can think of right now is, what if there are disposable seat covers already on every single seat, and when the movie is over, all these disposable seat covers are then removed and disposed. So that will ensure at least that the patron will not be in contact with the seat at all. Even though it may be a little bit cumbersome, but it does provide the impression to the customers that you are doing extra, and that you are actually trying your best to ensure that the experience will not increase any chance of probability of getting the COVID-19 virus. Another thing that they can do is probably source for portable ventilators and air purifiers, so that they can put in every single cinema hall and ensure that the air is being circulated well, and therefore minimize the chance of the virus staying in the hall. So these are just some ideas that I have. It doesn't mean that if you do that, people will definitely want to come to the cinemas and watch the movie. However, the main point that I'm trying to say is this: when you now go into this new normal, regardless of your industry that you are in, are you going in simply fulfilling the minimum requirements from the authorities? Or are you using the opportunity to rethink and see whether you can come up with new ways to wow your customers, to show that you really care, and to show that you have done things to ensure that your customers and patrons are safe, and that they are being well looked after by your staff and your service.
The key takeaways.
Business operations have definitely been thrown upside down because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone is rushing to do things according to the new normal. But it doesn't mean that the new normal simply means fulfilling the minimum requirements for safety and protection. In fact, the new normal offers an opportunity for you to think of new ways that you can wow your customers. So do spend a bit of time to look into your processes and make use of this opportunity to see whether you can actually outperform the rest of the competition by wowing the customer with a level of commitment that is even higher than what is minimally required. Till next time, remember to win hearts, plant ideas, and inspire action. See you.